Welcome to Level TV with the Sony Xperia ZL and maybe even the world's first unboxing. Nobody's caring much about this device since there's everywhere Sony Xperia Z advertisement, but we have the ZL, which is not waterproof, but it's a little bit different on the back. I think it's a little bit better than the Sony Xperia Z since the back is actually a little bit rough. You will see what I mean, but we have almost the same case. From the front it looks exactly the same, so this illustration doesn't show much. And what I just saw here in the illustration is there's a small little blue light down there. So maybe there's even a beautiful status LED on the bottom, and also the camera is actually also here down to the bottom, which is quite strange for any smartphone. On the back you can see we have actually the same specs: Full HD display, 5-inch, 30 megapixel camera, and a quad-core 1.5 GHz processor by Snapdragon. It should be the S4 Pro. NFC, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and so on and so on. Everything is inside. And here on the side it says, by the way, again, that this is called the Z6503, not some ST model, which is also a little bit weird by Sony, but it says it right here on the top, and it's of course made in China, even though Sony is a Japanese company, but well, Japan is also expensive now, so everybody has to produce in China. So right away the first thing you will find is the smartphone itself. Again, camera on the bottom, beautiful back. I will show to you in a second. Let's just first see what else we have here inside the box. So taking this paper part off, you will see that we have of course again the standard Sony charger, 1500 milliamps at 5 volts. From 100 to 230 volts, it should work everywhere around the world. This is of course a European one, and you can charge your phone in about 1.5 hours with this beautiful charger, which I just love, since I think only Samsung has also a fast charger like this. No other company does 1500 milliamps. Everybody does from 700 to 1000. Micro USB, not so special. Headset, which is in-ear and has a golden L shaped end, so not straight but to the left or right. And we have a microphone of course built in, and not only one button but I think 3, so you can of course also control the volume. In-ear plugs and a little clip, so you can clip the headset right here, or the microphone actually right here on your clothes, for example. Then a short manual for the C6502, 6503 and 6506. Probably different countries, different codes. Important information, which I'm not going to read, it's so important. And then we have the Sony FCC statement. So, and SAR information and so on, some paperwork. Now before we get to the smartphone, the short manual is quite interesting. I just saw it in a German video. You have behind the flap a little off switch, which turns the device off completely. On the side it seems that it doesn't turn it off completely. I think that's kind of a hard reset button, so because you can't actually remove the battery, that's quite nice by Sony to add a little button like that. So, as you can see here, as I said again, the smartphone is quite beautiful. We have still the beautiful or amazing 5-inch Full HD screen, which is not that sharp right now, but you can see here now we have a beautiful tiny edge on the top, and on the bottom also small. We have the camera right here on the bottom left. We have on the side here the little knob for turning the device on and off. Volume control right here on the top. And here is a dedicated camera button, which the Z also doesn't have. So you can turn the device actually on by holding this for a few seconds, and then you shoot the picture right away. And when you press it again, you don't have to unlock the device, which is quite nice. But it won't unlock if the sensors think it's too dark. And if you let me look for the sensors now, I think right here on the top. So if it's in your trousers, it should not turn on, but maybe it's smarter than I am. So again, we have here on the bottom not much, except for a little hole, so you can put a strap here around the corner. The microphone is actually here right next to the camera on the bottom. On the front, on the top, 3.5mm standard headphone jack, nothing special there. And on the other side, a micro USB, so you can charge and use it also with a dock, but I don't think this supports MHL. I have to check that first online. So we have camera, 30 megapixel, Exmor R, flash, Again, a speaker, on the top there's a microphone, and on the bottom here you can insert the SIM card by just lifting up like this. So you have a micro SIM and micro SD card reader, and here's that small little off button which is yellow. Closing it up again, you will see that the back is, it seems it's a unibody case. It's not waterproof as I already said, but you have this beautiful riffled optics. Only the Sony Xperia logo here on the back stands a little bit out, and it feels really great in your hand. I mean, this is available in different colors. Maybe if it's a white one there will be some dirt stuck onto this riffled pattern here on the back, but it feels like a Samsung Galaxy S2, I would say. The first one's not the Plus on the back, but with a higher quality plastic. And I'm really curious if I could take this off, but it seems to be clipped on here quite well, so no battery change. Then we have the Samsung Galaxy S3 here in blue. Actually from the front it's a little bit more interesting. I know I have a white protection thing on the front, but you can see that the size is actually about the same. I would maybe even say that the Sony is a few millimeters shorter on the top and the bottom, and the S4 therefore also, since the S4 has the exact same size than the S3. And in terms of thickness, S3 and S4 should be again the same by Samsung, so this is actually about the same thickness, but this Sony has a lot more grip and feels really even more high-end in your hand, but it's not more high-end than an Apple iPhone 5, which is of course made of metal. It's a little bit cold now also, but the iPhone has just these edges which don't feel that great, so I think Sony is just a lot more beautiful device. And you can see here also in terms of height, if my camera focuses, it was a little bit, yeah, now you can see, in terms of height, the Sony is not much higher, but of course in width, when I put them onto each other, you can see that here of course there is half a finger, and otherwise it's the same, about the same thickness. I mean, it's not much more on the Sony, but it's a little bit more, since it has this edge or wedge, which the HTC One also has, which I don't have anymore, sadly, but this is still a beautiful device. Sony Xperia ZL. And before we wrap here the things up, let's try again the camera, which is not only fast on the front, or on the back actually, with 13 megapixel, but you can switch to the front camera also with the little software bug, as I can see. So let's just switch to the front camera. There you go, and here you can see, nope, this is still the back camera. Now you see here, you can see the front camera with also full HD video capabilities, which is also quite fast, and you can see also the display from all sides is quite beautiful. No color changes, no nothing, so I think the display is even nicer on the Xperia ZL than on the Z. We will try to get the Z again and then do a direct comparison of the two, like we did on the CES, where we first had the chance to have both in our hands. Again, here we have one of the best keyboards in the Androidosphere, and you can see also with swipe it's quite fast and beautiful. So the full review will be coming up in the next few days. Thank you much for watching. This was the Sony Xperia ZL, available here in Germany for 549 euros with, I think, 32 or 16 gig internal memory. I'm not sure, but I mean, there's a micro SD card reader, so it doesn't matter much. Till next time, peace and then again, my name is Balashgar.